I wanted to talk today about the funnel of health as it relates to kind of health philosophy and how you can improve your health. If you watch any of my other videos, I talk a lot about the triad of health, which we'll come back to that in a second. But these two concepts kind of go together. I'm Dr. Blair Masters with AccuSmart. I appreciate you listening. One of the things that we want to do, everyone wants to be 100% healthy. We all want to be in a situation where we don't have any problems, we don't have any symptoms, where our body will do what we want it to when we want it to. Great, great. But everyone has problems eventually. And the best thing to do is to start with self-care. Now, self-care is stuff like, the kind of common sense stuff. Hey, maybe I ought to eat a little bit better. I ought to eat a little less sugar and a little more protein and maybe some more vegetables or something along those lines. Or hey, I need to watch my online time, or I need to start an exercise program. This is kind of self-care stuff. Or, I've been feeling a little troubled lately, I might start going to church or whatever it is for you. Great self-care, taking some vitamins, this kind of thing. When people start to have symptoms, they start to kind of go down the funnel. And one of the problems with funnels is they tend to suck you down, and that's a big issue. It really is. But many people jump from like, oh, I'm feeling 100% healthy, and then they notice a problem, so they jump immediately down into the medical realm, and they go to the doctor and they start on some kind of medication, and doctors have very little incentive to do anything other than that, and they have a big incentive to do that. That's kind of how they're taught and how their business model works. But if you jump past self-care and natural care, you're missing out on all sorts of things and opening yourself up to all sorts of potential problems in this area, because medications have a lot of side effects. They really don't improve your health. They may a lot of times just let you live with symptoms a little bit easier than you would be able to live with them otherwise. And when I say that, don't get me wrong, medications can be a part of your overall health philosophy, but they shouldn't be like, hey, that's my number one go-to. I always jump down here and this is my first thing. You want to say, okay, I'm going to try some natural care stuff, something maybe a little more aggressive. I'm going to get a massage. I'm going to see a chiropractor. I'm going to see an acupuncturist. I'm going to go to a psychologist instead of a psychiatrist. Psychiatrists tend to medicate, versus psychologists tend to talk to you about the problems that you're having. And you jump over this kind of thing, which has tons and tons of benefits. This area does, and very few downsides, really. There's very few downsides to taking vitamins. There's very few downsides to going and getting a massage or talking to a psychologist. You might be like, well, it didn't do me any good whatsoever, and I'm in the same boat that I was in before, but very, very few negative side effects. Very, very few. If you've tried these things, and that's the great thing about the internet and the great thing and the bad thing about the internet is you can look stuff up. What vitamins help diabetes? What my mom had diabetes, my dad had diabetes, my cousin got diabetes. I'm worried I'm going to get diabetes. What vitamins help diabetes? What should I do for diabetes to prevent it? You can look this sort of thing up, and that goes along with whatever symptom that you're having. Now, at a certain point, some people fall into an area where they need medication to continue living, and that's fine, that's okay. But the best goal is to try to work your way back up the funnel of health so that you no longer need this. And there's situations where surgery is needed, particularly in emergencies. Oh my goodness, I was way up here and I fell off the roof, broke my leg in half, the bone was sticking out. I need to go and have this. I need to go and have surgery. And, thank heavens that that is available to us these days. It's really such a blessing. And if you're in some kind of life-threatening situation, the hospital is definitely the best place to go. They know how to save your life. They're great at that. But in regards to being healthy, working on, I'm trying to be 100% healthy, your hospital and your medical office is not really a great approach, because you'll never get above this area, because their concept, their health philosophy is basically what can I give you here? And a lot of times these things have side effects that continue down this path in a bad direction. But eventually we're all in a situation where we succumb. We end up at the bottom of the funnel of health. We have 0% health and we're dead. Now, that's a fact of life. That's the way it is with everybody. But what you want to do is not like, I'm 30 years old, I feel horrible, I am getting medication, and I linger in this lower part of the triad or the funnel of health on a regular basis, and I'm just kind of hanging out down here my whole life. I never really feel good. I'm in a situation where life's kind of miserable, but I go get medication that I can live with it, and that's the way it is. What you want to do is hang out up here as long as you possibly can. If you do happen to come down into this area, work your way back up to being 100% healthy. And then eventually you'll succumb, but you won't spend half your life down in this area wishing you would die because you feel miserable. Thanks for listening. I hope this helps.